There are three presidents that we'll be discussing in this video. The first one is Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, served from March 4, 1861 to April 15, 1865. And the second one is John Kennedy, the 35th president of America, served from May 29, 1917 to November 22, 1963. And the last one is Barack Obama, the 44th President of America, served from January 20, 2009 to January 20, 2017. Hi, my name is Shalena Sitohang, and I will tell you about Abraham Lincoln's inspiring life story about Emancipation Proclamation. In July of 1862, after General George McClellan failed command in July campaign, Congress passed two very important pieces of legislation. The Military Act of 1862, which gave President Lincoln the authority to employ persons of African descent in any military capacity in which he saw fit. And the Second Confiscation Act, in Section 6 of the Act, Congress gave the President the authority to choose to confiscate all property of person in state and rebellion, which includes slaves. On September 22, 1862, 5 days after the Battle of Antietam, President Lincoln issued a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation in which he warned the state in development that if they did not lay down their arms and return to the Union in the next 100 days, he was going to declare free their slaves on January 1, 1863. In October 1862, Frederick Douglass wrote in his monthly that in order for the Emancipation Proclamation to free any slave, two conditions had to be met. The first condition was that the state in rebellion still had to be in rebellion after January 1st, 1863, and the second condition was that the rebellion had to be suppressed. On January 1st, 1863, that the first condition was met, as the state in rebellion had not returned to the Union. On January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the final Emancipation Proclamation as, quote, a fit and necessary war measure for suppressing state rebellion, close quote. President Lincoln made it very clear within its Emancipation Proclamation that the proclamation was a fit and necessary war measure for preserving the Union for accomplishing the paramount objective of the war. And in that fit and necessary war measure for preserving the Union, President Lincoln declared forever free all persons held as slaves in the 10 states that were in a war within the United States for their independence. In the 5 slaveholding states that accepted Abraham Lincoln as the president, federal authority, the Emancipation Proclamation did not apply because Congress did not give President Lincoln the authority to seize property and declare free slaves in the states that were loyal to the Union. Only states in the rebellion and only in states that had to be brought back in the Union by the military conquest. Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, told the Confederate legislature that the Emancipation Proclamation was, quote, an authentic statement by the government of the United States of its inability to subjugate the South by force of arms, close quote. Indeed, Ulysses S. Grant would say that the Emancipation Proclamation added a powerful ally to the Union war effort. In January 1863, that regional conflict became a war for emancipation, a war for a birth of freedom, as hundreds of thousands of Southern men and women African descent then would join the Union war effort, seeking that precious gift of liberty, and his nation would march on to victory as one nation. From his life story, it can be seen that the thing that inspired me was Abraham Lincoln, who never gave up on his effort for the Emancipation Proclamation. The decision he made also solved the problem rebellion in America at that time. This inspired me to never give up even though I faced many failures, but to learn from the failure and always try to give my best until I succeed in achieving my dream, and also inspired me to be able to make a change to the country, even if it starts from the smallest thing.
The second president will be explained by me, Esra, and the president is John Kennedy.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States who served from January 1961 until assassinated in November 1963. He was one of the best presidents America has ever had. Many events occurred during his reign, such as the Bay of Pigs invention, Cuban Missile Crisis, the space race by studying the Apollo project, the building of the Berlin Wall, the African American civil rights movements, and the early stage of the Vietnam War. At the time, Kennedy increased the number of the military advisors, special operations troops, and helicopters to inhibit the spread of communism in Southeast Asia. During his 2 years in office before being assassinated, John Kennedy had made many changes. He brought many teachers, writers, scientists, and other intelligence people into the government. He also founded a peace organization and made a new rules on human rights. During his tenure, John Kennedy always stressed the value of peace to everyone in his country and even in the world. He also tried to improve relations with Russia, although in the end he failed. I think John Kennedy was a very inspiring figure. He is one of America's youngest and best presidents. In his inauguration speech, he called on all citizens of the United States to be active by declaring, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." He called on the nations of the world to join the fight against the common enemies of mankind, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. This speech reflected Kennedy's self-confidence that his administration would make history in both domestic and foreign policy. And it's true that many of his programs have succeeded in making America much better. John Kennedy was a leader who really worked for his people and always emphasized good values for everyone.
My name is Pardian Sinaga, and the president that I chose is Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a member of the Democratic Party. He was the first African American president of the United States. Obama previously served as U.S. Senator from Illinois from 2005 to 2008 and as an Illinois Senator from 1997 to 2004 and previously worked as civil rights lawyer before entering politics. The reason why Barack Obama will always inspire people because he always treat everyone with the same respect. Obama became known for his respectful and polite manner. Even when he was attacked by his opponent, he kept his cool, and he showed a lot of respect to everyone, regardless of the situation. This is essential as we should give everybody the same level of respect. There is no such thing as being superior or inferior because everybody is doing something important and has the same dignity as the rest. Shallow people might frown over those they perceive to be in power, but their attitude means they have only narrow view of the world, and perceived to be more judgmental. In the end, it pays off to be respectful and kind, because you never know how another person can impact of your life. It will also open more doors for me in the future. Investing my own education is always worth it. Obama defied expectation in many ways. He had many things against him, but still, he accomplished his goal, to be the President of the United States. This shows that hard work can take us beyond our circumstance, and even our wildest dreams have a chance of coming true. The journey to the White House was not easy, but it involved taking it step by step and being mindful of what Obama wants. By working towards your dream, you give yourself a real shot at accomplishing them.
From the explanation earlier, it can be seen that Abraham Lincoln, American the 16th president, was one of the best American presidents, as he was the first person to try abolish slavery in America. And the second is Barack Obama. He will continue to inspire people even though he was no longer president. All of his action done can always be our inspiration to our life. And the last one is John Kennedy, known by his initial JFK, was the 35th President of the United States, who served from January 1961 until assassinated in November 1963. He was one of the best presidents America has ever had. The Kennedy administration adopted the strategy Hamlet program the South Vietnamese government implemented. John Kennedy was a leader who really worked for his people and always emphasized good values for everyone. Okay, thank you for listening to our video. Bye!